Pharmaniaga and Duopharma Biotech both announced separate vaccine deals that will in total supply 18.4 million doses to the Malaysian public. In a BOS filing, Pharmaniaga said it had signed an agreement with the Malaysian government to supply 12 million doses of the Covid-19 vaccine. The vaccine will be developed by Sinovac Life Sciences Co., a subsidiary of China's Sinovac Biotech. The agreement will allow Pharmaniaga's unit to supply doses of finished Covid-19 Coronavac SARS-CoV-2 vaccine inactivated and filled and finished by the Malaysian company to be delivered to hospitals, clinics and any other facilities nationwide as instructed by the Ministry of Health. Pharmaniaga said this will help to strengthen its vaccine business and provide the company another income stream. Meanwhile, Duopharma confirmed in a statement that it will procure and supply to MOH the Covid-19 vaccine known as Sputnik V, developed by the Gamaleya National Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology. The term sheet agreement signed is with the Russian direct investment fund Gamaleya's international marketing agent. Sputnik V is the world's first registered vaccine based on human adenoviral vector-based platform with a 92% efficacy rate. Duopharma will supply 6.4 million doses to MOH to be delivered in phases over a period in 2021. This will be subject to approval by the Drug Control Authority. Duopharma Group MD Leonard Arif Abdul Shatta said in a statement that the company already has in place its fill and finish line at its plant in Klang and that this move is in line with its mission to be a leading healthcare group. S&P Global Ratings expects Genting Malaysia's wholly owned subsidiary Genting New York to register a sharp recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic-driven shutdown once business is allowed to return to normal. S&P notes that Genting New York's operations are located at the heart of the metropolitan area in New York and has a low dependency on tourists for gaming revenue. Like other casinos, Genting New York's operations were closed for 6 months from March 2020 due to the pandemic. However, with the resumption from September to mid-November, Genting New York's business was already nearly back to pre-COVID-19 levels. S&P is expecting Genting New York's operations to recover more strongly than the group's other operations such as Singapore and Malaysia. S&P also thinks it is highly unlikely that Genting New York will be sold as the company should remain strategically important. The ratings agency adds that as the biggest taxpayer in the state of New York, the company will be a frontrunner in bidding for potential casino licenses. Public Bank's share trade volume surged more than tenfold during the day as the stock's price readjusts to the group's bonus issue of up to 15.53 billion new shares. The exercise is on the basis of 4 for 1. Public Bank's stock surged as much as 71 cent or 16.67% to 4 ringgit 97 in morning trade. However, it didn't manage to hold on to its gains until the end of the day, but still managed to close up 14 cent or 3.29% at 4 ringgit 40. Even so, Public Bank was still the fourth most actively traded stock on Bursa Malaysia, with over 142 million shares changing hands. To recap, Public Bank said on December 8th last year that the proposed bonus issue serves not only as a reward to its existing shareholders, but also serves to make the bank's shares more affordable to investors. Bank Negara may cut the overnight policy rate one more time to support the country's economic growth should the reinforcement of the MCO to curb the spread of COVID-19 is extended, according to UOB Asset Management Malaysia. UOB CIO Francis Ng Tak Min said today another OPR cut is possible if stricter measures were to be reintroduced, as there is a risk of slippage in GDP projection. Given the elevated number of new daily COVID-19 cases, Malaysia's economy is expected to take longer to recover. He calls the situation fluid and there is a possibility that economic recovery will only happen in 2022. To recap, between Jan and July 2020, BNM cut the OPR 4 times for a cumulative 125 basis point of reduction to 1.75%. The central bank held the OPR at its last meeting but added that its stance going forward would be determined by new data and information. BNM is due to announce fourth quarter GDP numbers on February 11th. Couples in long-distance marriages living in states under the MCO will be allowed to return to meet their spouses starting January 27th, Bernama reports. Senior Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the government agreed to relax the rules in a special National Security Council meeting yesterday. This will be subject to the individuals getting prior permission and approval from the police to cross borders. This also applies to those who need to do so for emergency purposes. Sabri adds that the government is also advising the people to keep calm as the government is still deciding on the next course of action after the MCO ends on February 4th. Malaysia reported 3,585 new COVID-19 cases today, with 11 new deaths, which brings the death toll to a grim 700. Hearteningly, there were also 4,076 recoveries.